All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course, where I will start it and then pause it because I have to do that. Otherwise, it randomly turns on usually about a minute after you go live, and then it distracts you, and that's not a good thing. Staying hydrated, again, as we go through the last day of the heat wave, and the economic markets are definitely feeling the heat. In fact, we're going to go live here, just a sec. U.S. stocks live. Let's see, what is happening with the stock market now? Stock market today, Dow drops over 900 points, Standard & Poor 500, NASDAQ slide amid global sell-off. And that's 9 minutes ago, actually, from Reuters. Yeah, the markets are having a little bit of a problem, so we'll be talking about that. Entrepreneur warns the Kamala Harris presidency would hurt lower to middle class the most. Yes, indeed. We'll be talking about Hidin Harris, actually. I know their operative strategy. The operative strategy is keep the Kasich effect moving and keep her hidden as much as possible. It's fairly self-evident. UK's Starmer to hold emergency meeting as riots intensify. Yes, there have been a series of riots and protests in the last couple of days in the UK. As a reaction to 3 young girls getting stabbed, actually, by an illegal immigrant. And then there's counter protests, Antifa teaming up with Islamists. And it's become a difficult situation for some of the right wing, actually, because they're like, they're team Jew, they're team Israel. And so, but then, you know, Jewish people and Islamists tend to spar with one another. And so that's become a big thing. Then we get RFK Jr. with his fucking bear story. I don't even know where to begin with that one. We're just going to talk about it verbatim. We'll talk about the stocks, of course. The CDC has tightened rabies regulations for imported dogs. Here's why. In fact, I'm going to bounce that story. Fuck it. I'll cover that separately. Teens invent remarkable device while researching for a way to save their community. Can be implemented anywhere in the world. Yes, they're using plasma to try to make seeds more viable, number one. This is a team of Turkish students to make seeds more viable, number one, and also to create nitrogenous fertilizer. So that's pretty exciting. It doesn't scale to a commercial level yet. We'll see how that happens. Sassmaster, do you think this stock drop hurts Kamala because caused the end of her honeymoon? How will they blame this on Trump? I'm sure that they'll try. It does definitely hurt the Kamala ticket because she's part of the administration. If Biden were the nominee, so he didn't drop out, he'd be dead in the water right now. He would have already been long gone. Long Dong John, odds of World War III breaking out this week. Unfortunately, it does look like the Iranians are serious about attacking Israel. We're hoping that it's a pulled punch. And that's also contributing to what we're seeing in the markets, in my opinion. The odds are thankfully still low. But the fact that we're talking about it at all, that there's a measurable chance at all, is pretty dire, honestly. BW, are you sure that they're not just going to do debate at all? Trump refusing to do the ABC debate is a gift for them. I agree. He's making a mistake with that. Now they can just not have one at all with excuse that Trump went back on pre-agreed. And why won't Trump put out that speech Kamala did at AIPAC supporting AIPAC? I wish, but have little hope that she will pick Shapiro. We don't know who she's going to pick. She could pick during this live stream, actually. Dust thou art. The U.S. military loses 4 times as many people to suicide as combat. The real enemy is a domestic one. Our leadership is just as corrupted as Congress. No one ever joined. Sincerely, a disabled vet. Yeah, while we do need a good military, right now it's not being run properly. Not even close. Sigilstone, good morning. So has RFK announced his running mate as Kristi Noem yet? Yeah. I get the reference. Redane, hey Sticks, I just wanted to remind the guys that a literal gay cannibal managed to find a willing partner. Yes, really, his partner agreed to be eaten. I don't think he should have faced any criminal penalties, by the way. Well, the person agreed to it. Yeah, I mean, my biggest fantasy is I want you to kill and eat me. Well, I mean, he died happy, I guess. Pablo Meal. Good morning. Just enjoying my first cup ever of Costa Rica blend. Clank. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be talking about Jam and Bean and our other sponsors later. This is going to be a little bit of a rant, and we'll get lewd as usual. You know, I'll perv on my female subscribers and shit like that, and we'll call it a day. Entrepreneur warns Kamala Harris presidency would hurt lower to middle class the most. Now, I just threw this particular article in here for economic purposes because right now the economy is doing the shaking. What I wanted really, though, to talk about is the fact that it's self-evident what the strategy is with regards to the Kamala Harris presidency, potential presidency, rather. I don't think that it will be a thing. I think that she will lose. I think that Trump, in the end, will end up prevailing. Here's the problem. What they're trying to do is keep Kamala Harris off the campaign trail as much as possible. It's been 2 weeks without a presser. That's abnormal for a presidential campaign. She hasn't done anything press related. And keep in mind, most of the press, they're going to softball her. They're going to ask her softball questions, and they'll say, well, Mrs. Harris, Joe Biden is known for his love for ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? And shit like that. It's entirely predictable. That's the point number one. Point number two, though, is that she can't even answer the softball questions. That's the whole problem. If she gets a softball question, they're asking her favorite ice cream, she'll spend 10 minutes ranting about the various flavors and their various the pros and cons or something like that. She's just a weird person. She's highly disagreeable to the average individual. She's not very personable. She doesn't really seem to like socializing very much. And so what you need to do is keep her off the campaign trail. Don't let her do the pressers. Don't let her go to rallies. Don't let her do too much because she might say something fucking stupid. That's the whole reason. When you point this out, by the way, you're cast off as being sexist and or racist. No, it's just the truth. She's been an absentee vice president. Why do you think they effectively disappeared her the second that she got the running mate role? She never really went out to campaign. She certainly hasn't done much that's public as a vice president. There is a reason for that. So, yeah, she's got some fucking problems. And they know that they'll become bigger problems if she's actually exposed. This is why Trump is making a huge mistake right now. He should not be bouncing the ABC debate with Kamala Harris. He should be demanding a second debate with Kamala Harris. The first debate does not count. He was not debating the nominee. He was debating Joe Biden, who decided not to run. Choose another date a little bit after, they're like a week after or something. Demand that you have a Fox News debate, but have it like a week later. So still in September or something like that. Have 2 debates. You need to crush her. You're going to lose if you don't. Honestly, I'm very worried right now for the Donald Trump candidacy. I still believe he has an advantage. I still believe that if the election were held today, he would win. But the advantage is dissipating. And it's dissipating because of his own campaign deciding to do the debate shuffle. Don't just go with 1 debate. Demand 2. Force her to the fore. Kamala doesn't want to debate you at all. It's quite clear. That's why they're trying to change the debate rules and shit like that. They had it on ABC. It's a liberal network. That's fine. Demand a second debate. If she declines it, then she looks like the coward. You've blame shifted around to the Kamala campaign. If she does accept it, well, then you have a nice fair debate now, don't you? That's what you need to do. Have 2 fucking debates, not just 1. I'm not sure what Trump is trying to do right now. My hope is that he's just trying to get the campaign to the bargaining table. Like maybe they say, okay, well, we want to debate you, but you don't want ABC. Okay, we'll do this one on Fox. Maybe we have a second one, CBS or something. We shifted, the first debate in CNN. It was actually relatively even-handed. Maybe we shift it to CNN or something like that. Or maybe we have it live streamed, something like that. And all of those solutions are perfectly fine. We really need Trump to crush Kamala Harris. He needs to debate her. He might not be able to win without debating her. He needs to understand this. I'm hoping that, like before, the Trump's official page, Real Donald Trump on Twitter, shared out one of my videos at one point. Can you please take my advice? Get Trump to debate. And don't just debate once. Force her into a second debate on the premise that the original debate does not count. Trump will clearly prevail. He's actually got policies in mind. He's actually on record as what he wants to do. Kamala Harris's website, and I was tipped off to this by several people. I checked it. It's actually true. And I was like flabbergasted. If you look at Kamala Harris's official campaign website, you're not going to find any issues or policies at all. They do not exist there. It's basically orange man bad, progress, moving forward. Hey, 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 I'm black. That's basically the only thing. I really, really want Trump to debate Kamala Harris. And not just for my own purposes as a live streamer, by the way. So, yeah, they're trying to hide Kamala Harris as much as they can. They're doing the best that they can. Let's see. BW, are you sure they won't have a debate? And what is the chance that World War III breaks out and they cancel the election? The latter is 0%. They're not going to be able to cancel the election. I'm hoping that they have a debate. I'm hoping they have two of them. Because the first debate fundamentally doesn't count. That's not the nominee. Trump said, I'll debate the Dem nominee in 2 debates. It should technically be 3 like it used to be, but they decided to parse it down a little bit. He should insist upon an extra debate. Put the onus on the Kamala Harris team. Last beacon. I don't think the economy is doing the shaky. I believe the economy is shitting itself. Yeah, we'll be getting into more of that, by the way, in a little while. Billy Howard, to be honest, if you look at the 5-year graph of the Dow, today is barely a blip. Context. Down 5% is pretty significant. Dust thou art, Sticks, would you ever consider doing a video over Fat Leonard and the implications of the case across the board diplomatically? I don't know what Fat Leonard is. So, I mean, I could, but you'd have to front me some info. Doc Holliday, the entire world around us erupting into major wars, possibly World War III. Stock market crashing and the American economy entering a recession, and be like, yeah, I'm voting for 4 more years of that. Yeah, you'd have to be insane to vote for the Kamala Harris ticket. Last beacon, I'm starting to believe that Donald Trump is listening to his handlers and that they are sabotaging him. I don't think that. That's not what I think. I think that he's old school and that sometimes he just doesn't 100% understand exactly what he should do. I mean, it's self-evident. He should have me as a campaign advisor. He would be 10 points ahead right now. Tony the Greaser, sup cats and chicks, almost at 4K follows on Instagram. Stay greasy and clank. Thank you. BW, doesn't Trump have that lawsuit with Snuffleupagus and ABC? Yeah, I think there is an ABC-related lawsuit. Maybe he can't actually do the debate. But, I mean, he did agree to it, so, you know. Sigil Stone, I want to also see Trump crush Kamala between those greater orange thighs, those watermelon crushing videos. Just imagine him aquazing her hard. Yeah, that's not anything that anyone wants to see, no. Next news story. UK's Starmer to hold emergency meeting as riots intensify. Of course, they're only going after the so-called right-wing rioters. If you're in the UK right now and you're supremely pissed over the fact that an illegal stabbed 3 young girls in your country, and I think raped them actually too, then you're a terrorist. But meanwhile, there are counter protests lined up right now between Antifa and Islamic factions within the country, which is sort of the reason for the original protests, screaming Allah Akbar and stuff like that and threatening to kill people. And that's not a priority for Starmer or for other people within the British government. It's a 2-tier system. If you believe in your country and its traditional values, and I don't believe in British traditional values, just to be clear. I mean, my country killed a bunch of British regulars in order to become free from Britain. I think we made the right decision, by the way. Can we all agree upon that? Fellow Americans, Didn't we make the right decision freeing ourselves from British rule? I have a feeling that we did. But that doesn't mean that I want people in England to suffer. But your government is openly calling for you to be arrested because you took part in what were sometimes peaceful protests, or fiery, but mostly peaceful. Well, that's not a problem. We've seen that in the United States too. Even when you're under attack by people who follow hardline Wahhabism or Antifa members, literal communists, you've got your priorities out of whack. And from the other side of the pond, let me tell any British viewers what it looks like. It's like, what the fuck? What are you smoking? I thought that weed was still illegal in your country. Apparently, I was wrong. You must be on something stronger than that if you're tolerating this situation. The government is openly alienating itself to the people, openly ignoring their grievances, treating them like terrorists, even for relatively peaceful protests, while it does absolutely nothing about the far left, the hard left, and people who practice Islamofascism. Then you've got a right-wing faction in the country, and I sympathize with Tommy Robinson. I don't want him to be in jail and don't think that he should be. But you namby-pamby other groups of people who are directly averse to the same Islamists, and it's like just a giant clusterfuck and makes absolutely no goddamn sense. I don't know 100% what's going on in Britain's right now, but it's shit's all fucked up. Mind of a madman. I like your advice for the population decline. Yeah, you should have more sex. I also saw Metallica on Friday. It was a great show, and I agree with your take on the debates. Metallica's pretty cool, yeah. Yes, everyone. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Yeah. Hot women riding on your face. You can't get anything better than that. Mr. Wonderful, just a reminder that Harris was a fan of Tupac before he released anything. She is just as genuine as a $3 bill. Yeah, no, I saw that. I remember when she was talking about that, and it's like he hadn't released an album. Apparently, she was part of the rap underground scene. Michael Aurelius Brutus, if Varg Vikernes was the leader of the EU, how would it be? He would have genocided all the Southern Europeans by now, I think. He goes a little bit over the edge. Like I don't think he even considers me to be white because I've got dark hair and eyes. Yeah, Debbie is fundamentally correct. Stocks are being dumped right now. We'll be talking about that in a minute. And yeah, between the stuff in Britain, the stuff going on in Japan, the US market's getting fucking creamed right now, and all of the other weird shit going on, this has been one hell of a year. I mean, it makes for good news stories, but I mean, I would rather just talk about here's a compilation 30 minutes long of like cute cats or something like that. Honestly, I wish my job was more boring than it is sometimes. Gerald Armstrong, Trump is a boomer. He does boomer stuff. That's his problem. Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin is also collapsing at the moment. I sold most of my Bitcoin off last month. So I'm happy about that. This was not insider trading. This was just me trying to cover some costs that I had last weekend. That's why the Democrats would probably be afraid of running against you. Oh, they would definitely lose. Snuffleupagus X. I am the only real Snuffleupagus. Doc Holliday. That's why the UK shouldn't have fucked themselves in the ass by giving their firearms up. Well, they do still have firearms. It's not like you can't get them in Britain's. It's just an onerous process. They don't have the concept of a militia, which is why they could be successfully invaded. As President of the United States, I will do to the British what they did to the colonies. I will turn them into a colony, a colonial territory. I promise that we will defeat the British and we'll take all their nukes and shit like that. I would take their navy, but, you know, yeah, it's not much there to take. Orange chicken girl. Kamala eats corn the long way. Yeah, no, she eats it vaginally. She shoves it in her fucking vagina. Dust thou art. U.S. government covered up Fat Leonard as much as they could. That's why you haven't heard of it. A bunch of top brass told him when and where ships and troops would be deployed, and then they'd party after. DM me on Twitter with the backstory of that. The dashing rogue. Varg is barbarian. Never let him control the state. I have no problem with barbarism. BSKA. Sticks, would you ever go gay for pay? No. Would I screw a woman for pay? I won't answer that question, but no, I would. I'm super straight. I can't do anything with the dude. It's impossible. Couldn't get it up. Never been interested in that sort of thing. Now, we've got a funny news story and a very strange one. RFK Jr. decided the other day that he should come out and talk about a story that happened. I don't know. I'm assuming that it happened about 20 years ago, because I can remember actually comedy specials were talking about, like in New York City, how bad the bikers were, like causing, traffic jams and shit like that. And so I'm assuming it's around the 90s or the 2000s. He doesn't actually let us know exactly when this happened. Here's RFK Jr.'s story. And it's actually not that weird, but it's fucking hilarious. At one point, he was driving some friends to go out hawking. I guess he likes hunting and outdoorsmanship. That's to his credit. And some woman in front of him hit a bear. And he's like, well, this is meat. I can eat it. And so he planned to dress off the bear and eat the bear meat. It was like not a cub, but like a juvenile bear, I guess, or something. Maybe he fucked it in the ass or something. It wouldn't put it past him. He's a weird dude. But he put it in his trunk because he planned to dress it off at home. But then they went out hawking and they stayed longer than he expected. And then he couldn't get back in time. He had to go to work, so he had to take a flight. And so the bear was just going to rot in his car. And at the time, again, bikers were a big thing in the news. I've seen comedy specials where people are rambling about bikers for half an hour at a time. It was a big problem at first. So he decided to take the dead bear, and this was his idea of humor. And he swears that he wasn't drinking at the time. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that he was fucking plastered. He went to Central Park with the dead bear, and he dumped it out on the side of the road and then put an old bike that he wanted to get rid of next to it to make it look like a biker had hit the bear and killed it, which doesn't make sense. You're not going to kill a bear hitting it with a bike. Yeah, maybe if you're going downhill at 80 miles an hour, like maybe a dirt bike or something like that. But he wanted to get rid of the bike. And he said, well, haha, this is funny. And then the next day it was all over the news and they were dusting it for fingerprints and he was terrified and stuff. I don't know whether I necessarily believe all aspects of the story. But he took a dead bear and dumped it in Central Park and put a bike next to it to try to troll the bikers. And I was thinking to myself, look, I've got a lot of grievances about RFK Jr. I don't like his stance on guns. I don't like his stance on free expression. I don't like his stance on taxes. I don't like his stance on business regulation. He's a fucking leftoid. He's also been alienated from his family. They won't even talk to him at this point. This is completely acceptable to me. The bear was already dead. He planned to eat it, but then he couldn't get around to eating it. You do, by the way, if you ever hunt or trap or something like that, if it's been dead to the point where it's bloated, especially if it's in the back of a car on a hot day, you probably don't want to fucking eat it. You're going to get food poisoning and you may die. So what do? You have to dispose of the carcass. Well, he trolled the city of New York and a bunch of retarded bikers. I'm sorry, but there are plenty of complaints that I have about RFK Jr., and this ain't one of them. And they're astroturfing this as it's like a campaign ender or something like that. I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. His campaign never got off the ground in the first place anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Nobody gives a fuck what RFK Jr. did 20 years ago. If anything, it's fucking humorous. Man, now I want to do something like that. Next time I see a piece of roadkill, I'm going to buy an old bike and I'm going to pile them by the side of the road. Maybe I'll get on the news too. This is like the first good thing that he's actually done. That's the whole point. Sunflower. What do you think should be done in UK regarding the protests and riots? Thank you for your shout out, Tommy Robinson, Polish Canadian grandma. I think I'm not allowed legally to tell you what I think that the British people should do. So I think you can probably take the hint. Palm put, the Southport stabber was actually a second-generation immigrant born in Wales to two Rwandans, presumably Hutus and all that, as opposed to Tutsis, yeah. Jay Reed, would it be disastrous if Kamala picked Shapiro as running mate, considering he volunteered in the IDF? Yep, Trump put our embassy in Jerusalem, so what the fuck? Yeah, Shapiro is not necessarily the greatest choice, and Fetterman is warning about this. Fucking 6'4" Lurch himself, who has gotten over his brain damage. I covered that this morning. He's warning about it too. Derek Wynn. Members of the military have been fighting for accountability over the DoD's unlawful mandates. We need help. Declaration of military accountability. We do need more accountability. I support a very strong military that we use as sparingly as possible. Give them the toys that make the noise, improve the MREs, get rid of the menu number 3 chicken chunks, by the way. If you don't do that, then you're committing war crimes, and then call it a day. Yeah, make twice as many nukes and then never fire them. You know, we can do it in the stream it in 4K. We'll just nuke the desert. Geek, I thought we were trying to crash the Russian economy. According to the news, they have an economic boom going on. What is going on? Stupidity is going on. Mr. Wonderful. Top tier crypto always bounces back. Always. I'm currently taking advantage of the current panic as I've always done. Sometimes the goldfish memory of the TikTok generation is priceless. Yeah. I still hold Bitcoin, but I wanted to liquidate some of it. I didn't liquidate all of it. NYBSFP, Shapiro covered up a murderer. That's the scuttlebutt, and I don't have enough sources to declare or deny whether that's the case, but it doesn't look good. Yeah, with Shapiro. Not Ben Shapiro, of course. We're talking about Josh Shapiro. Yeah, so RFK Jr. is trying to get ahead of a story by telling his tale about, you know, the dead bear in Central Park, and it's just really weird. Anyways, let's get to our sponsors really quickly here. By the way, if I look a little bit de-energized, I am. I didn't sleep terribly well last night, and this is the last day, thankfully, of the heat wave, so tomorrow it'll be cooler. I'll probably be a lot more energetic, and I've got an awful lot of caffeine on hand. Plus, I get to perv on people. It's pretty great. It's a fringe benefit of the job. You know, there are some cute female clankers out there. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's get to our sponsors. First and foremost, I am now partnered with Goldco. Hashtag Goldco partner. Go to www.stickslikesmetals.com. You've seen the economic news today. We'll be talking about that more in a moment. It's not necessarily that good. There are some problems going on with the economy. This is what I warned of. That's why I'm glad to be partnered with Goldco. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. That's of import because I don't want to pitch anything that's a scam or something. They're definitely not a scam. So they're very responsive and very friendly and very understanding in my particular case. You can buy gold and silver from them. By the way, you can also, and I forgot to mention this the other day, because I don't know as much about this kind of investing, admittedly, you can roll over your retirement savings actually into gold and silver. And it sounds like a good idea. I've got some silver on the way. I can't wait to show it to you, by the way, from Goldco itself. It's called Goldco, but they also sell silver. I'm more of a silver man. Probably going to invest more. No problem with that. They can get you hooked up. You can get a free gold and silver investing kit from them. You don't have to worry about anything. You can just request your free kit and just read it over. So again, stickslikesmetals.com, link in the description. It would be wise at this particular point. You've got money to invest. You decide to branch out into precious metals. They've got you covered. In this particular time, with our particular economic issues that are going on, which you've seen so self-evidently over the last 24 hours, maybe diversification is a good idea. So again, they're reliable. It's a safe company. They're not going to screw you over or anything like that. And so I'm glad to be partnered with them. Physical account, it doesn't really matter. You can do either one of them, or you could do both. I mean, you know, maybe you've got more to invest. That's perfectly fine too. I decided to get physical silver because I just want to see it shine. I love it when it tarnishes just a little and it turns that little pinkish color. I fucking love that shit. Anyways, yeah, that's our first sponsor, of course, Goldco. And then we get to talk about stocks being hammered. We've got other sponsors as well. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get all sorts of mushroom pills. And I take them every single day. So again, I will never pitch anything that I don't myself use or invest in. And they don't taste like shit. I figured, it's going to be unpleasant swallowing it. Nope, they taste perfectly fine. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, glassware, and much, much more with the Ouroboros logo and other memes from the channel. BiltongUSA.com. Again, use code STICKS on all of these sites when prompted to, where you can get delicious meat. You're gonna have to suck on Anton's meat. Trust me, it's tasty. It's a good idea. He's trying to get more game in. I think the other supplier ran out or stopped existing or something. So use code STICKS there. You can also get Sticks, X, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. By the way, I've got to remind myself for tomorrow that I've got to bring one of the hats in here and wear it on my live stream, because people really, really liked that, and the demand was enormous, actually, for that. We've got heritageheirloomseedcompany.com, where you can get seed survival buckets. That way you can, survive the incoming economic apocalypse or something like that. Also, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer soap, cedar, clove, and blueberry. And let me tell you, it smells amazing. I did lick the soap bar at one point, maybe. It probably tasted good too, but I will neither confirm nor deny. And we've got a new kind of soap actually coming in fairly soon. websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get various miscellanea. You've got Trump material, flags, and so forth, lawn signs. Also, you can get Sticks, X, and Hammer blades, and those knives are very, very sharp, by the way, with the Ouroboros logo etched onto them. You can also get jackets. You can get straws, steel straws. Those are good. So you can save some sea turtles. They won't get it stuck in their nose because it's not a reusable, disposable straw. And so you will save a sea turtle. Then you can chop its head off and eat it, of course, because it's not dead yet. And finally, brickmuseum.com, where you can go to Bel Air, Ohio, and see their Lego collection. I strongly recommend checking out their website at the least. They've got a huge-ass collection of Legos. And I've looked up the Lego prices for the classic kind, and I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty impressive. Just saying, I wish that I had kept my own collection as well. So if you like Legos, go to Bel Air, Ohio. They've got you covered. Anyway, just a second here. Let me reorganize, because now I've got a bunch of, what the hell? We've got, Joe says, we be in trouble, dog. Shit. Oculus Veritatum. Happy Monday. Hope it arrives safely. Vu Viet Hung sent 500,000 of, I'm assuming, Vietnamese currency. I guess. I'm not 100% sure. My apologies. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Thank you very much. I think it's probably a significant amount. I see the left is very active in groundwork like knocking door to door. However, I only see one Scott Presler in Pennsylvania that is active. This is kind of worrisome. I can only talk to my Asian community and why voting for Trump is our best choice now. Yeah, you're going to have to take some of it and do it yourself, unfortunately. Like, it's a lost cause if I go around here. Rutland's, kind of swing state E, but Vermont's going to go for Kamala Harris. I mean, it's like 70-30. I've thought about going over to New Hampshire and campaigning there for Trump. But the thing is, I'm not an official surrogate. I mean, if somebody from the campaign reaches out to me and wants to aid me in logistics, I would be more than willing to do so. New Hampshire is still on the table. My own home state here is not. But I was born in New Hampshire, so I can just tell people that and make a campaign pitch. I'm totally willing to pitch in. I've just got to fucking coordinate. And you're right. The problem is that the Republicans are worse at coordination. The Democrats simply are superior when it comes to connecting the dots, basically. You're completely correct. Last day of the heat wave, thankfully. God damn. I'm not sweating as much, though. At least the humidity has mostly gone away. The bonus holes. You skipped our super chat. My apologies. I will get to it. Oh, where are you? The bonus holes. Sticks, check out the new Manson song, As Sick as the Secrets Within. Definitely his best work since the 90s. I agree, and I did see it. Definitely glad I got a ticket to see him in Tacoma for one of his headlining shows. Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It would be, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely, it's better than anything that he did since like the Dope Show era. Following Flynn, Joe dropped out because he saw there are already 3 solid big government anti-gun candidates in the race. Why not rest? The Dashing Rogue, you like your female groupies? What happened to your bird? Is Yoko breaking the ban? I'm just a weird person, and I'm unrepentant about it. Hello, Kitty SK. Hi from Georgia. Love the show. Thank you very much. Heritage Heirloom Seed Company. Good morning, everyone. Get your recession-proof seed buckets now. Always best to be prepared just in case. No need to go hungry. Yeah, everyone could use more pickles, by the way. SC Woods. Fat Leonard. Brezhnev, perhaps? Yeah, I don't know anything about that. You'll have to give me information. I don't know anything about Fat Leonard. Sigil. Shapiro fucked up on day 1 and can't get reelected. Pennsylvania fucking hates him. And the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is hearing a challenge to the case he declared a suicide. He's political cyanide. Last week in saying, pick Shapiro, pick Shapiro, pick Shapiro. Yeah, I know. I agree with both of you. Jim, Kamala isn't pretty enough to act this dumb. Yeah, you know, usually there's a trifecta. One of them is physical attractiveness and or sexuality. Another one is intelligence. And the third one is mental stability. The problem with Kamala is she is not mentally stable. She's a psychopath. She's not particularly intelligent. She's incoherent most of the time. And she's definitely not sexy. So she's a 0 out of 3. So she's the person that you don't talk to at the bar, basically. It's like if she were at least mentally normal, it's like, okay, we could get past the fact that you're not necessarily a looker. Like with me. I'm intelligent. That's my main forte. I'm kind of mentally normal. Yeah, I make weird jokes and I say lewd shit and I perv on my female fans and then I'd say like, you know, fucking dead animals or something. But ultimately I'm sane. But I'm not exactly a looker. Well, 1.8 out of 3 ain't bad, I suppose, in my case. Kamala's like 0 out of 10. She's completely insane. Have you heard this woman speak? Probably not lately because they're hiding her. They're doing that for a reason. Stocks are being completely decimated right now. The Dow is down. NASDAQ's down. Standard & Poor's is down. The K is down. Korea's down. Pretty much everything in the goddamn world is down right now, based on the Bidenomics, by the way. This is going to become, I think, if it's prolonged, if this is more than a blip, it's going to become a political issue in the upcoming election. You can expect it to be brought up at the next debate. Donald Trump simply has to say, well, you just erased 15% of the wealth in the country or whatever number it happens to be at the time. You were the vice president and are that's overseeing economic policy. What do you have to say for that? Now, Kamala's in a corner at that point. She can either say, well, it's not that bad, do the nervous laugh thing. Or she can blame shift and say, look, I'm not responsible for economic policy. That was Joe. Oh, throwing Joe under the bus. That'll look really good for the voters. They totally won't punish you for that. Kai the Deer Guy sent $1. Thank you very much. Mr. Wonderful, shout out to Lele Smexy if she's watching. Miss you. I don't know who that is. Lele Smexy. Is that like an OnlyFans model or something like that? I don't know. We've got to get Trump in there. Looking at the economic data right now, my God, we'd be fucking crazy not to vote for him. So let me make a pitch. Let's say you are reluctant to vote for Trump. You're not necessarily going to vote for Kamala because you're not a liberal or something, but you're like, well, but Trump didn't do X, Y, and Z, or he did do X, Y, and Z. I hate to tell you this, and I have strenuously avoided this kind of politics for multiple decades. I don't do the football team mentality thing. I don't do the left and right. I don't do the Republican Democrat. I vote my conscience. This election, for the first time, other than 2016 when Hillary probably would have caused World War III, is far too important for people not to solidify behind Donald Trump. It is terribly important that we do that. If Kamala Harris is elected, we have a president who is a literal psychopath. She will not be able to conduct diplomacy, but she will have a will of her own, which means that she won't be able to be constrained by the oligarchic powers that be behind the scenes. It's too goddamn important not to vote for Trump. Not only should you vote for Trump, you should harvest a ballot, knock on a door, or get a reluctant friend to fucking show up for the polls. They will try to rig the election. That much is clear. In a couple of states, they won't really be able to, but in the other states, they'll try. We need to overrun them. We need to have massive manpower superiority. We're talking millions of voters. And if just the people that are watching this, you harvested one ballot, you knocked on one door, you got one friend, well, that's like 5,000 people. That's pretty good. You know, not all of you are actually in the United States. Okay, so maybe it's 3,000 people. That's pretty good. If other content creators stop blackpilling their audiences and start telling them stuff like that, we'll win easily. Donald Trump is quite clearly better than Kamala Harris. Is he perfect? No. Has he made mistakes? Fuck yeah. He's making mistakes right now by possibly not even debating Kamala Harris. That'd be the biggest mistake of his fucking campaign. Do you really want Kamala Harris as the first female president? Like if it were Tulsi or something like that, I'd say, okay, that's fine. You know, they'll cast you off as sexist for opposing her. It's like, I have no problem with a woman being president of the United States. I just want one that's sane. Preferably one that's been in the military like Tulsi has, so that they know, hey, you know, this actually kind of sucks. I'd rather not send people to war. First thing Kamala would probably do is start a war on purpose, just to show I'm as big as these other boys. I'm one of you. I'm a big girl. That really, it would displease me. It scares me, honestly. BW, careful sticks. Leftoid women might pose as clankers to get you me too'd. Well, you know, you can fuck them too as long as you record it. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you consent to sexual intercourse, my dear? Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm plowing your ass. Last beacon. The only reason why Republicans have poor coordination is that they suffer from being stuck in two time periods. One being the Reagan period and the other in the George W. Bush period. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. The problem is the ones that are stuck in the Reagan period. The funny part being Trump is more like Ronald Reagan than them. Doc Holliday, vote Trump to be unburdened by the retard that sucked their way to the top. Last beacon. Democrats also suffer from this as well, being stuck in the Clinton and Obama period. Yeah, true. Sigil, the problem with having a sane woman as president is sane woman is an oxymoron. Oh, no. There are women out there that are mentally sane. Yeah, they exist. Not a lot of them, but they exist. I don't know. Which would you rather have? You can tell me in chat. You've got a woman who's completely insane and brain dead, but she's really hot. Or you've got a woman who's really like nerdy mode, like hyper intelligent, great conversation. But she's just, you know, a little bit nuts and she's not very attractive. Or you've got a woman who's really, really with it. She's totally organized, does all the chores. She won't even let you do chores and stuff. She's kind of homely and, you know, she's not necessarily very bright. Which kind of woman would you prefer? Most people have like a 2 out of 10. Like, again, in my case, I tend to be intelligent, charismatic. I'm aware of this. I'm not going to humble brag. And you know, I'm not ugly, but no Adonis. So I'm kind of mentally sane. So I've got like a half on the mentally normal thing, a half on the looks thing. My main forte is just that I'm intelligent. And I'm aware of this. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm no catch. Chronologic, I think that you're right. The second one. Yeah, if you've got a woman with you, if she's a little bit batshit, then she's probably better in bed. Just saying. And it doesn't matter if she's terribly attractive. The mind can be attractive too. Like, think about it. You get married to a woman or whatever. 10 years on, like, you know, the sexual mojo, you still have it probably, but, you know, you do it less and stuff like that, but you still have conversations on a regular basis. If they're not completely goddamn ape shit, then you want the intellect more than anything else. It's just like titties. You know, some dudes like double G's, and some dudes like flat chested, and some dudes are like they don't care. And, you know, I think that like a B cup is average is best, but exactly, not just a string. An annoying woman is annoying all the time. It doesn't matter if she's hot. Okay, so when you're in bed for a little while, then it's fun. All the other time, you're fucking suffering. By the way, this is not a non-endorsement of any female that I've ever met. I'm just being lewd. I'm just mouthing off. To be clear, I'm on nothing but good terms with the women that I've interacted with. They're all lovely, and so yeah, I'm not putting shade on anyone. Somebody will probably claim that I am, but that's not what I'm doing. Jebediah Kerman, the lefty answer is that the stock market is just rich people that don't matter. Yeah, but those same lefties talked a big game about the stock market when it was rising. That's the whole point. Stephen Walton, do you think that Iran will attack Israel soon? It seems imminent, and that's another reason why the markets are having a little bit of a problem right now. Let's see. Sigil, I'd prefer someone that's slightly nutso butso in case they need to push the button without hesitation. Yeah, but a little bit of nutso-ness. You don't want like Kamala Harris levels or, you know, Hillary Clinton levels. You want somebody who's, they're a little bit deranged. You know, sometimes they say something that you're like, okay, Mr. or Mrs. President. Doc Holliday, I missed the psycho one that stabbed me because she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. Funny story. I had a girlfriend once who was into sanguinarianism. For those of you that do not know what that is, it is blood drinking. And so she slashed my shoulder open and drank blood from it. And she had a ridiculous orgasm from this, actually. And so she would be maybe not mentally completely normal. She's good in bed, though. Yeah, that was actually a thing. And so technically, I've been infected with vampirism, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. This has become a rant. You're going to get far more of this on this channel, by the way, in the future. There are over 5,000 people watching. I think more people are tuning in because I've become less and less hinged. I love it. I don't give a fuck about people's judgment. It means nothing to me. I've led a very, very strange life, and I'm going to continue to do so. Did Stick State mean a harker? I don't know who that is, so no. Last weekend, yep, they were talking all that good shit a second ago. Then they got kicked in their chest. I get the reference to that one. What the fuck was that show? Boondocks. Yeah. I've seen clips from that. I like it. The Dashing Rogue. Most birds suffer from a cluster B personality disorder. But the birds in the West are crazy and use magic thinking to hide their madness. I don't try to hide my madness. Joe, dude, that blood story is hot. No, yes, it was. I mean, we fucked right afterwards, just saying. Kite the Twin Blade can confirm there seems to be an inverse correlation between female sex drive and female mental stability. Yeah, you got to strike that balance. Which one would I prefer? Let's say they're both hot. Let's talk about just sex drive. So one chick wants to fuck constantly, but she's nuts. And the other chick, God, I think I just went offline on Rumble. I think I just got banned or something. And the other chick is totally mentally stable, but she doesn't have a sex drive. I think I'd choose the mentally stable, actually, at this point in life. Maybe when I was younger, I would have chosen the opposite. What happened? Did I just get banned off of Rumble? Just a sec. Or did I press the button accidentally? Sigil, you're deep into occultism and shit, but you somehow don't know the story of Dracula. The fuck is wrong with you? Oh, I'm still there. Okay. On my end, it looked like I got booted. And I'm like, God damn, if Rumble boots me when YouTube doesn't for making lewd comments towards my female subscribers, then we've got a big fucking problem. Yeah, Kamala sucked her way to the top mainly, more than anything else. She didn't have any other skills. I mean, do you think that she's in politics for her speaking skills or her intellect? No, no, she's the psycho chick who I guess gives a good blowjob, or at least did maybe 20 years ago. Why on earth would you want that? Well, you would basically it's like signing up for herpes. Uh, we talked briefly about stocks, then I wandered off into talking about getting my shoulder cut open and my blood drunk. This is an interesting story, though I did want to get to this one. Teens invent remarkable device while searching for a way to save community. Can be implemented anywhere in the world. There is a new experimental technology, and I'm extremely excited for this. Bezia and Diyar, two members of the Turkish team Ceres, runners-up in the Earth Prize, who created a new crop-boosting technology called Plasma. Now, let me explain how this works. The idea is that you use plasma to blast. Plasma is basically electron unstable gas, so to speak. You blast seeds with it. You give it a little bit of a microwave dose, so to speak, and it cracks open the outer shells. It helps them germinate more easily. So in areas that are less hospitable towards farming, that could be a big advantage. Apparently, you can also use this basic concept for another purpose, which is that you can take vegetative matter, blast it with plasma, and extract nitrogen from it. And you can make a high-grade fertilizer for a relatively low price. This is exceptional. And these kids, Erdogan needs to invite them over to their royal court or whatever the fuck it is, because that's pretty exciting. They managed to contain plasma in order to actually increase crop yields on two different levels at the same time with the same machine. That's incredible. Congrats to them. I'm hoping. Here's the problem. Right now it's small scale, so you can make like a handful of fertilizer or do a handful of seeds. Well, that doesn't really translate to commercial farming where you need a ton of seeds or several tons of nitrate fertilizer. The hope is that they're going to be able to scale it up and make it energy efficient. And I'm sure that you can do that. Again, we've already got the technology. All of these applications could be handled by battery systems that are powered by like regional home solar. You don't even need any solar fields or anything like that. Imagine a farming community. You've got like 17 buildings there, 17 homes, and they've got barns and shit like that, and they're growing wheat and stuff like that. Imagine you could put solar panels on their roofs, and then you have, wires running, and you have one centralized system. It's capable of creating plasma. It can crack the seeds, and then once you're done seeding, you can make the fertilizer because, of course, over time, you're mowing the lawn or you're, stripping down the weed or something. So you put it back in, the part that you're not using, you extract the nitrogen from it for next year. This would increase crop efficiency by, maybe 20, 30%. You realize how big of a technology this could potentially be, assuming that they can figure out how to scale it up. The problem, I would think, is that when you're dealing with plasma, you're dealing with very high heat. I think that at some point you might break the machine. If it's not calibrated properly, it would be a fucking problem. So they've created a plasma machine for agricultural purposes. I didn't know that this was possible, by the way. I also didn't know that cracking the outside of seeds actually made them germinate more easily. It's a no-brainer, but I always thought you just slit them. If it's a hard shell or something like that. Let's see. Senor Faces, what kind of wizard or witch will you be? Every kind. Ram Bam 3000. Wilhelmina Mina Harker is the main female character in Dracula and is forced to drink his blood. Oh, yeah, I get it. I thought you were referring to a content creator or something. James Lowe, what would you say to a Christian considering paganism? How to choose a religion, basically. Ha, ha, ha. Choose whatever you want. Vote your conscience on that one. I'm irreligious. I don't follow any religion. I'm a pagan, but I don't try to convert seek. If you want to know more about paganism, you can always ask me. But there's no compulsion. You do what you want. Sorry, but my main religion is independence. Let's see. Sigil, you're deep into occultism. Oh, I already did that one. Yeah, no, I get the reference now. I thought that it was the name of a content creator, okay? I made a mistake. Doc Holliday, Styx thinks missionary only and women shouldn't read books because it ruins their pussy. Lol. No, actually, women should be independent. And I don't understand misogyny at all. I think that women are great. Well, most of them, not all of them. And they should be cherished. They should be loved and protected. You know, everyone has a mother, right? Yeah, think about that. Some people had mothers that were bitches, but my mother happens to be saintly. So, yeah, I didn't develop a distrust or dislike of women. If anything, again, I've liked women a little bit too much. But I learned how to get good with my tongue. Just saying. I can be romantic and very gregarious. Heath Fusion sticks for your information. Plasma can be perfectly cool temps, just ionized gas. Oh, I thought they were using the heated version, like you know, sun style plasma. Yeah, everyone has a mother, so you know, lay off the goddamn women, dude. And a grandmother and great grandmother and stuff like that. I happen to love my mother, just saying. She's wonderful. Although one time she did ruin the shepherd's pie because she decided to put sour cream in it. And I can never forgive that. So there's always one demerit on my mother with the sour cream shepherd's pie. Oh God, as a kid, I love shepherd's pie, right? I've told you this story before. Some of you, though, you haven't heard it. Shepherd's pie was my favorite food as a kid. It's like mashed potatoes on top, nice and buttery. And then you've got hamburger and corn in it. It's technically a cottage pie. And I would always dump ketchup all over it. And, you know, I would eat like 5 bowls of it. There were never any leftovers, trust me, when that was served. But one time, my mom said, hey, potatoes go with sour cream. That sounds pretty good, right? I'll put sour cream in the shepherd's pie, in the mashed potatoes. Nope, doesn't work. And that was one of the saddest days of my goddamn life. Oh, it was terrible. Like I literally 25 fucking years later, I'm still thinking about that one meal. Like I think about the best meals, and then I think about a few that were really, really duds. Like my mom went through a health phase once too, and she started trying to make stir fry, but she wasn't really salting them, didn't understand the use of soy sauce, herbs, and spices and stuff, and so it was like completely bland. And those were sad days. That was after my dad had his heart attack. So she wanted to do health food. And it's like, okay, I understand the premise, but it just doesn't work. Kai the Deer Guy, I wasn't able to get my message in last time. What is your favorite type of magic? All of them, for the most part. I prefer mindfulness and mysticism to everything else. Although I'm not below cursing somebody into a pile of ashes, and I've done it before. James Lowe, I'm very curious about paganism. Can you give me somewhere to start? DM me on Twitter, and I can tell you more about the basic premise. It kind of depends on which kind of paganism you want, or if it's just pan-paganism. Like I'm a pan-pagan. I don't stick myself to either ancient Greece or ancient Rome or ancient Egypt or something. I pick and choose what I want according to my conscience. I'm a very individualistic individual when it comes to spirituality. And I think that that's the American way. Our founding fathers, they were fundamentally Christian, but they studied paganism, they studied Islam, they studied Judaism, they studied everything under the sun. They just wanted knowledge. And it's knowledge that gives you power. Let's see. Doc Holliday, it was a joke. Come on, man. Sigil, worshipping independence, you are cast out from the heavens to the ground, blackened feathers falling down. You will wear your independence like a crown. Excellent goddamn song by Ghost, by the way. You have great taste. Ghost, you should look up all of his music, basically. Ghost is great. Jimmy B on Rumble. Sticks, what's your take on what aliens are? From another planet, another dimension, demons? Aliens have not come to the Earth. They are uninterested in our planet, and it's probably too fucking toxic for them to get near it because of all the pollen and pathogens and stuff. We would be insane, for example, if we were able to do so, to traverse the galaxy and go to an alien planet, because we might pick up some pathogen that requires, at the very least, quarantine, but may escape quarantine and kill everyone. I do not believe that aliens have ever visited this planet. When you're looking at UFO videos, you're looking at drones, you're looking at ball lightning, you're looking at things like that. You're not, those aren't aliens. They've never been here. I don't believe that they give a shit about our planet. Now, are there aliens? Absolutely. There is a 100% chance, I state this objectively, that there are other intelligent life forms in this galaxy, let alone the universe. Are they likely to know about our existence? 99% chance. There's a good chance that one of those sentient species is close enough by that it's witnessed our radio waves and shit like that. Have they come here? No. 0% chance. They're probably not physically capable of doing so. And if they were, they'd be insane to do so. Last weekend, I'm still worried that the Republicans will shit the bed in the whole ballot harvesting issue. Yeah, I share your worry. Please send no more super chats, by the way. We've gone over an hour, and I do have to go live with the quartering in, in 15 minutes, actually. So I've got to wrap it up here. Alan Smithy, you're a pan-pagan, but I like thin crust. And Brock Sampson, Sticks, you mentioned a while ago casting a spell for someone to keep away and not come around. I'm curious if you have a book to cast enchantments and such. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you very much. I'll have to get that to that at a different time, though. I lost track of what fucking time it was. I didn't realize it was so close to 1 p.m. Shit. I thank you to the over 5,000, nearly 6,000 people that tuned in, but I need to take that link and go live with the quartering. So that's about all.